Property Owners Association of Bella Vista, in cooperation with Bella Vista Community Television, presents the monthly POA board meeting held at the Bella Vista Country Club.
Welcome to our December regular meeting. Call that meeting to order. We'll begin this evening if everyone rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight we have Pastor Paul Haas from the Bella Vista Lutheran Church. Our invocation.
Bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness and kindness and mercy that you give to us every day. We breathe your air, we walk on your earth, and we're about your business in this meeting. I ask that you bless each and every one of the people here that has been raised up as a leader in our community. Help them to see the wisdom of moving ahead with the things that they need to move ahead with. Help them to be careful with what they do with the things that you provide for us in terms of your resources. Watch over them, guide them, and direct them. We thank you for this season, Lord, and the birth of your Son, and we ask you to completely bless this community with his presence. Watch over us, guide us, and direct us. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Please seat. There are any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? Approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Carries. Joint Advisory Committee reports this evening.
I don't see anyone here from the Lakes Committee. That's up first, so I'll just remind everyone that we discussed a proposal from the Lakes Committee to write a policy regulating large inflatable toys on our lakes. We haven't received from the Lakes Committee their rewrite of what they'd like that language to look like. So I want to defer that until the next Rules and Regulations meeting in January. Hopefully I'll have their revised copy by then. We can discuss it in the R&R meeting and bring it to the board if we think we need to.
I have one small addition. They were very pleased that they were allowed to involve in this election. How many new members do we need for the Lakes Committee? 4. We need 4.
Recreation. Jane.
Help her out, Dave.
I'm Jane Barfield. I will be the 2016 Recreation Committee Chairperson. Bill Puskas is the 2015 Chairperson, and he couldn't be here tonight, so I'm getting my first practice session. I'll start my term just a little bit early, and it's the committee's desire to have someone from our committee present at each monthly board meeting. It may not always be me, but someone will come. At least that's our plan, to give updates or ask questions. For this last meeting of 2015, I'd like to first of all thank the POA staff, if there are any in here, you guys are, aren't you? And the board for taking steps to implement most of the recommendations from this committee. We are aware that priority is paramount in planning, and that is a very large community, and that funding isn't always available. We will push for our recommendations nonetheless. The committee began the year with a task list of 6 items from this board of directors that included assistance with the 50th anniversary planning, promoting and implementation. Included also was the charge to continue monthly amenity inspections and reporting. Additionally, the committee was asked to focus on the community trail plan development and implementation, as well as consider suggestions for the Sugar Creek Water Trail. It seems that the trail plan is developing nicely with the cooperation of the city and the POA. The Sugar Creek Water Trail failed due to circumstances outside our control. Finally, we were asked to make suggestions for development of programs to expand amenity usage with the POA marketing and communications manager. The white paper presented to the board was covered in last month's presentation by Bill Puskas. I'll just reiterate those items that have not been implemented that we know of. We want to get some facilities repaired. In particular, that would be the pickleball courts and tennis court at the Metfield complex. And it's our understanding from POA staff that there was funding for that to happen in 2015 and that it will be carried over to 2016. I don't know how to make sure that really is happening, but if somebody would put that on their to-do list, it would be great. Those pickleball courts have been a recreation committee issue for 3 years. It's time. We also asked that Reardon Hall and Branchwood facilities would be modernized. Concerning the rifle and pistol range, we wanted to establish a range monitor with safety training and be there to collect the fees so that members don't have to go all the way to Branchwood to pay for and get access to the shooting range. And we'd like to construct a small structure to house the range monitor. And then, of course, there is the yacht club. We want to do something with it. Restaurant, event center, health center, entertainment facility. Think of something. We want to provide additional services like at Reardon Hall, provide child care for users of the tennis facility and Reardon Hall and the golf courses. And another suggestion was a golf discount card for members under 18 years old, Monday through Friday after 2 p.m. A discount for young people to play golf here. As a committee, we feel we completed the tasks for the year in a manner that was appropriate and positive. 2 members of the committee will have served their term at the end of 2015, so I'd like to please encourage the POA to encourage POA members to apply and become JAC members. Relative to monthly amenity inspections and reporting, each committee member was responsible for one of or more of the following recreational facilities. And I'm mentioning this because if anybody watches us on TV, we have a lot of facilities. There's the Reardon Complex, the tennis facility, Loch Lomond Park and Dog Park, Branchwood Complex, Metfield Complex, the gun range, Tanyard Creek, Blowing Springs Park, the RV park, and the RV storage facility. And those are the entities that our committee checks on. 2015 has been a great year for the Property Owners Association. I may be a little bit prejudiced. With input from JAC groups and citizens, this board and the staff have listened and provided improvements as possible. Thanks for including us in your processes.
Can I comment? Jane, is your committee aware that the golf for juniors is $9 for any time of day? It's $9 for any time of day, and if they happen to be riding with a golfer who has a lease cart, they can ride with them for free.
Bill Puskas, our past chairperson, present chairperson, is very much into the golf thing, and apparently he didn't know that. I don't play golf, so.
And also this year with an annual pass, anyone under 18 in the household can play free.
No kidding.
In
We'll pass
2016.
that
2016.
information
So the
on.
whole
2016.
family, it becomes a pass,
If,
it becomes a family pass if there's one parent at home playing golf and both parents play golf. then it's a family.
Great,
if
I'll
both-
pass
if
that on
both
to Bill.
parents have an annual fee. But if one parent has an annual fee with children, they can play free till age 18.
Okay, great, thank you. I keep telling Bill we're not the golf committee.
Maybe Bill needs to
Switch.
take a chance.
Ruth, would you help us with golf this evening?
I will. Jake Grassmick is unable to attend tonight because of a prior commitment. Golf rounds were up above budget for 1,126 rounds for the month of November, and golf for December was starting off very strongly until perhaps the rain on Friday and maybe snow today. Golf maintenance continues to do their winter projects, and play it forward markers have been ordered and will be in place before the spring season starts, and that's on Kingswood, Birksdale, and Country Club. No. One other course. Kingswood and Birksdale. Highlands, on Highlands. Golf Committee was asked to discuss the possibility of converting the Scottsdale greens to Bermuda, and after much discussion, they supported the change 6-1, the one saying he liked the idea and he favored the greens, but he didn't like the downtime it took to get there, because we're going to be down with the culvert on number 13. Andrew Marr reported that holiday merchandise sales continue until December 24th, so you still have time to do shopping for me. Comments on several guests came to discuss the golf fees, and once they heard that the golf fees were established by the board, they quickly left the premises. JAC talked about tasks to carry over for next year and had concluded most of them, but thought some should carry over as well. Gail Harder and Kirk Vanderwell, both terms expired in the end of December, and they were both thanked for their 3 years of volunteering and encouraged to sign up again, to continue on. And that pretty well takes care of the golf.
Thank you.
Can I ask on the golf, as the golf committee continues to address the cart paths,
Yes, sir.
could you tell me where we stand on the repair of cart paths?
Right now, it's money that has allowed golf paths to be fixed, and they have proposed kind of a routine as to where they should be, et cetera. Until money is released from the board, there won't be any mass cart paths, because it's expensive to do, and it's got to be a budget item, large budget item. But they continue to do it for safety issues each and every time one comes up. And that's what each and every member checks their individual course. And if a safety issue comes up on a cart path, they report it, and report it both to the superintendent and to Keith, and they take care of it just as soon as they possibly can. But I'm not sure that we have any particular course at this time scheduled for.
I don't know about safety issues, but I can tell you the Highlands course, cart paths are not in good shape.
As well as several other courses.
Okay.
You know, they acknowledge that, and they've identified them, but until money is released in good-sized chunks, probably isn't going to happen.
Does anybody on the board know roughly what it takes to, what's the expense of rebuilding a cart path per foot or per 100 yards, or I just, not even close to guessing on that.
John,
$5 a square foot.
does that include taking tree roots out and grading?
Yes. General paving is $5 a square foot.
Okay, so that doesn't include,
That would be doing the sub-base.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real good number.
that's
for
with
parking lots.
that's with asphalt?
With asphalt.
Because it was an overlay we did at the country club whenever the irrigation was put in, and I don't remember, it's either 250,000 or 500,000.
Yeah,
It was expensive. It's expensive. And that was an overlay.
One of the nice things that we have with the new concrete specialists that we have on staff, when we have these major repairs that need to be done, we are doing them in a concrete, much like Dogwood number 16. And that work has turned out
really, really well. So we get into real, particularly dangerous areas that are going to be tough to maintain, we do go to a better quality material.
And if nobody has heard, I got a complaint from one of the fellows working at the Highlands the other day on the repair work that was done to the cobblestone walks, in that it was cemented. Maybe some of us have seen it, maybe not. I've seen it. Both exits from the men's room and I think the ladies' room, and a couple of patches in the sidewalk. I was over at M&C today, and the wife and I were touring the facility with Mike Taggart, and I asked him that question. And he gave me a great answer, and he said, it's the ADA. The ADA does not permit pebbled sidewalks where there are going to be disabled people.
But there was a gap of about 1.5 inches or 2 inches after it settled, and something went through there about 3 months ago, and that's why they patched it again.
The ones I saw were brand new. They were, no, that was great. It just
But it's
was,
a
wasn't
combination.
pebbled.
It's not
just
pebbled.
wasn't pebbled.
Yeah, it wasn't like the rest of the.
Yeah. So that's the answer.
Response to previous open forum comments. The one comment that I can comment on came up in a work session, and it was regarding our tennis facility scheduling. And I can assure the board that Sundays are covered at our tennis facility in the same manner as they have been the last 3 or 4 years. There hasn't been any change to that schedule. So the question and comment that we received in the work session was not entirely accurate. Open forum.
Steve McKee, 3 Tyree Place.
Hi, Steve. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Not too much snow, I guess, on the way. I had a question on that new policy, 306, it is, about the city employees becoming members.
Go ahead. Finish your question.
Well, let's see here. They'll be able to purchase a POA membership. Is that, it's not a membership then?
Well, we haven't read that policy edition yet. It's later in the agenda,
Right.
but it has some restrictions to it. It's not a full membership at all. Go ahead with your question. I don't.
Maybe someone else raised that question then. Is this the final reading, or is there going to be?
No, this is the first reading.
First reading, okay. So they're not going to pay an assessment, monthly assessment
The
fee
city
as
pays
if
assessments.
on their lots. Right, and then the 2 employees are allowed to have memberships.
Well, no, Steve, that policy's changed also. If someone owns property, people in their household, or I believe the intent was to allow the property owner to designate people that were within their organization. Go ahead, Dave.
Let me try to clarify it. The articles of incorporation in our declarations allow the board of directors to set limits on the number of members allowed per lot. That's an arbitrary thing. In the past, we had set it at 2 adults who were the principal people on the deed, and up to 4 children would be eligible for a photo ID card. Last month, we had the second and final reading, to change that policy to allow additional adults who had a government-issued ID saying that they lived at that residence, and that's unlimited. There could be 10 adults living.
Extended
That's it.
family.
Right. As long as they had proof that they were a resident at that, on that lot, they could get a photo ID card. This is different. We're opening it up to municipal employees. We can do that under the declaration. The intent is to not turn away revenue, not turn away people that want to use our. We have firefighters and police officers who want to use the fitness center, who want to use the gun range to qualify. And we're opening that up to it. Now, just to give you an idea of the scope, there are currently 126 city employees. About 35 of them, I may be off one or two, so don't hold me to that number, already are property owners. So the other 90 are eligible to go buy a photo ID card for themselves. Their wives and or spouses and or family members cannot. They can get guest passes and be treated as guests. They will not be allowed to vote in POA elections. It's simply the ability to buy a photo ID card and use our menu. Now, we consider that a win-win for both the POA and the city. The city obviously gets another tool in their toolbox to recruit good employees, which we all benefit from.
Sure.
And then, of course, the POA gets the revenue from not just the sale of the photo ID card. If someone buys an annual fitness membership or an annual gun range pass, or they play golf. Those are dollars we don't want to turn away.
So is there the idea then, I mean, is this because it's the city or a municipal, or is it a corporation, or in other words,
we're adding,
potentially could do this, you know, and invite Walmart and all the
there's already a
employees
corporate, there's already a corporate clause in that policy that allows corporations to name two people.
Yeah, that's what I was
We've
referring to
had
earlier.
that forever. We're adding another paragraph for a municipal corporation, the city of Bella Vista.
So it's not a subset of the corporate.
No, it's under the same
Necessarily.
section, corporate owned, it's called.
Because theoretically, we could say, well, let's just invite all of the Walmart employees or Tyson or.
I think it would be stretching our imaginations and stretching the letter of the declarations. Too far to go that far, but I certainly propose that.
I wasn't aware Walmart owned any property in Bella Vista. I might be mistaken.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe some of their employees do. It sounds like it's sort of the same thing.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Not at all. If there's a corporate membership, if a corporation owns a lot, that's entirely different than the employee of a corporation owning a lot.
Right, so but this is going to be a new category of member,
Correct.
is what it sounds like to me.
Not of a member. Not a member. They get the right to purchase a photo ID card.
They don't have any other membership privileges. They can't vote or any other privileges that a full member has.
The assessments every month. So, again, I'm just wondering, is there going to be another paragraph that says, well, let's invite anybody and get a POA issued photo ID?
I don't think that's been discussed at all.
Never heard anybody suggest.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
Thank you.
Did you get your answers, Steve, or do we need to answer you again next month?
No, that was good.
Okay.
I want to take a moment during the open forum to read a letter that I received today. It's addressed to myself here at the Bella Vista Property Owners Association. Mr. Brooks, the Bella Vista Fly Tires Club is proud to partner with the Property Owners Association again in 2015 to maintain and improve our Bella Vista lakes. Our association with the POA over the years has provided a mutual benefit not only for our club members, but for all property owners who use our lakes. In addition to providing labor to acquire and install fish habitat structures, our members were involved in many kids fishing programs, including the Fish Fest and Hay Days events. Some of our members also participated in the lake's water quality monitoring and GRIP program, which, if you don't know, the GRIP program is get rid of the geese. That's how I'd explain it. This year, we are providing financial support for the Bella Vista Lakes in the amount of $9,845. And it goes on to talk about some specifics in that area. It closes by saying we've enjoyed a strong working relationship with Daryl Bowman and Vern Olafson over the years and look forward to working with Daryl's replacement. I will again express our club's support for providing a fishing dock at Loch Lomond Marina. We look forward to continuing our efforts to improve our lakes and fisheries in 2016. And it's signed Gary Henderson, president of the Bella Vista Fly Tyers. And then Gary was kind enough to have his treasurer sign a check over to Bella Vista in that amount. So I think earlier this year I talked in a chair chat about the great work that they do. This is a great Christmas present. And I will be recognizing them again this month. So Director Barfield's done a great job with that organization and being an advocate for our fishing programs. And special thank you to him for that support during the last 3 years and prior to that. Thank you, Dave. Old business. John, would you give us an update on Medfield?
The construction project is going along. It no longer looks like it was blown up. It's coming back together. The drywall is up. The heating and air conditioning is all in except for the registers. The golf shop and snack bar end look substantially completed. I was out there last week. I unfortunately didn't get there at the same time the superintendent was, so I didn't get much of a report. The membership services end looks like an office building. It's got wires and plumbing, and it looks like it's ready for paint and prime. I would say that it's substantially close to at least on time for the end of the year.
Branchwood Trail update. Brad, I know that you sent some pictures around. Off the cuff, would you
Sure.
give us a quick
Happened to get out and get some exercise this afternoon before the snow showed up. And I'll admit to having violated the do not enter signs and actually walked the entire golf course. And if you haven't been out there, there's 3 very large pieces of equipment that have already been deployed at Branchwood. I don't know the technical names, but it's a bulldozer and what I used to call a smasher truck that packs down the trail, and then just a gigantic road grader for actually cutting the trail as well. And of the 1.2 approximate miles that are being built, I'd say 50, maybe 75% of the trail has been cut very roughly, one pass with the scraper machine. And other portions are waiting for earthen backfill and some culverts and whatnot. And in addition to the equipment, there's probably, I'm going to have to guess here, several hundred feet of plastic culvert that have been delivered to the site as well. So lots of progress, and I think that one's on schedule for like a February-ish completion, and I certainly don't anticipate a problem there. Obviously, depending on weather, we can't be pouring concrete when it's too terribly cold. But good progress at Branchwood.
Thank you very much. We need to be proud of that project, folks. Silver and Fit update. We had a lot of member questions about Blue Cross and Blue Shield's altering their Silver Sneakers program and requiring some of our members specifically to look for a membership in a Silver and Fit program, which we were not a part of. We did, through Clem's efforts, put together a program that we could offer our members. It does create a little bit more bookwork for your association. There are two differences in the Silver Fit program versus the Silver Sneakers program. One is the Silver Fit program requires the participant, when they join initially, to pay $25. The second is that, as I said earlier, as opposed to a Silver Sneakers person going in, swiping a card, the Silver and Fit person now has to actually document in writing their attendance for the POA to turn back into Silver and Fit for reimbursement. So it creates a little bit of handwriting for our member. It does add $25 to their cost, but I'm proud to say that we've gotten over all the hurdles, and we are going to be providing that in 2016. So Clem did a good job on that.
I want to pass along some comments that I got after Clem had his meeting at Reardon Hall. He did a really super job in explaining it to the membership. And if need be, I'm sure we could do that again if there's still some questions going into next year as people really start signing up. You know, we make all those New Year's resolutions to lose weight, and that's when you get serious about it for at least a month.
Yeah.
And so there are likely to be a lot of people that didn't attend the forum, and we may have to maybe do another one, but Clem did a really nice job. Got a lot of positive feedback on that.
That's wonderful. And I'll tell you, he thought he was going to have some representative there from Silver and Fit. So once he found out a day beforehand, he had to really push something to get put together. So kudos to him.
If you're an existing Silver Sneakers, I understand that's kaput, but
No. Silver still, nothing changes for you if you're still in Silver Sneakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is just an additional program.
Well,
not a replacement program.
Yeah, well, it is a replacement program for.
Okay,
There's 4 levels. If you have Blue Cross Blue Shield A, B, C, or D, those are, let's just say those are the 4 levels. If you're in plan B, C, and D, they don't offer Silver Sneakers in B, C, and D. They only offer an A.
Only in their Advantage program.
Right.
That's the replacement for Medicare.
Right. And so, to put it simply, the B, C, and D programs don't allow Silver Sneakers. They offer Silver Fit.
Okay, so as an example, if my wife, who is in the Atlanta Advantage program, calls Silver Sneakers, she doesn't have to worry about Silver.
Just business as usual.
Sorry.
Could you repeat that?
So for the people that didn't hear
I'm
that,
sorry.
it depends on what your insurance company says you get. You either get Silver and Fit or Silver Sneakers, depending on what your insurance company pays for, or your supplement plan pays for.
Okay, new business. Scottsdale repairs approval. We've talked about completing the culvert work. The engineering's been finished, and we are going to proceed with going out to bid, provided we can get approval this evening for $124,000 to complete the project. That is on the culvert on number 13, Scottsdale.
I have a question, but I can wait until discussion, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve $124,000 for the repair of the culvert up near the green on number 13 Scottsdale.
Second.
Discussion?
The $124,000, I assume, is the engineering estimate, and when we go out for bid, if it comes back as $126,000, we'll have to authorize an extra $2,000?
That's correct.
Okay.
But it also includes approximately $15,000 of in-house work. So it's not just for the contractor. Any other discussion? Motion's been made. All those in favor of the motion signify by raising your hand. All those opposed, motion carries. Item B, Scottsdale Green and Trap renovation. We discussed the opportunities with our Scottsdale course in replacing our green surface and renovating some grass traps into sand traps. The figures on the green renovation was $210,000 with no contingency, and the cost to update sand traps, replace the sand traps, $90,000. I'm asking for the board's approval of $210,000 for green renovation and $90,000 for trap replacement for Scottsdale Golf Course. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and convert the greens on Scottsdale and also the trap renovations for $210,000 and $90,000 respectively.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Any discussion?
The golf committee has discussed in detail the renovation or changing of the greens, and they support it fully.
When we rebuild or build for the first time the sand traps, are we going to use what I'll call the newest generation or newest version? I know Keith has replaced half a dozen sand traps around the village here this past year, done some new things to improve drainage, etc. This $10,000 per sand trap is going to get us the good sand traps, I presume?
That's correct.
Not that I ever go in them or anything. But.
A lower maintenance
Define
sand
a good
trap.
sand trap. Does that mean I can get out in less than 2 strokes?
You've never been in one yet at Scottsdale.
How long is Scottsdale going to have to be closed? Spring, summer, when is this happening?
Okay, it'll happen sometime the first couple weeks of June, and it will be open the 1st of September for play. The advantage to Bermuda grass in the summer here is that if you put water on it, it's like a weed. It just explodes. So
The question came up, can they both be done at the same time? No. 13 has to be done first so that the sprinkler systems and the irrigation is in, because without that you can't have, you can't grow in grass for a green, so that has to be done first and then the other. And my understanding is they still plan to keep the front 9 open and make it available online that you can sign up for 2 9-holes at Scottsdale. So last year we couldn't.
Could you also explain to everybody the advantage to the lack of hand watering that the Bermuda greens will get us at the cost savings?
I can't, but Keith can.
Keith?
There were several things. Keith presented a plan to convert all greens on Scottsdale to champion ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. The bent grass at Scottsdale, of course, among the oldest in the village, were constructing what we now know have inadequate drainage. This is a frequent damage to the greens during hot weather and need to almost continually spritzing, and recognizes continuation of bent grass greens will require extensive rebuilding. Such rebuilding will require an estimated $750,000 if you went that route. However, with Bermuda, you can have susceptible to drainage, less susceptible to drainage. Major rebuilding would not be required. Cost for conversion to Bermuda would be about $210,000, or more than a $500,000 savings over the other one. Bermuda can withstand heat better without spritzing and regrow more rapidly when green damage occurs. It can be made faster for putting and also fewer ball marks. You'll see very few ball marks, if any, on Bermuda greens. And if you haven't played it yet, please go out and experience Brittany. And those are pretty fancy greens out there. And everybody who played on them, we took a group of about 30 varied degree of golfer out when they first opened, and everybody fell in love with the greens. Had it not been on a course of the length, probably more people would have played it.
Did we know how fine the greens at Brittany were going to be? Which, in my mind, is, even for a duffer, is kind of a second-hand golf course.
It was an experiment.
Okay.
It was an experiment out there. Is would Bermuda work in this area? We are a transitional area, and they had to find out if they were going to work, and that's another reason that they did number 7 on Scottsdale, is to just see what would happen if you put one green out there, and everybody would try it as they played around. And of course, everybody hates it because it's different than the 17 holes, and it's not maintained as well as it will be because different equipment has to be used to maintain it, and that's also.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Bruce, this has been discussed for years. I remember when I was on the golf committee before, and we were looking at realizing that all of our greens over time would have to be replaced. At the time, we saw bent grass and no other options at $750,000. We were all just sweating, how can this happen? So over the last decade or so, these dwarf Bermudas have come along and looked terrific, but we wanted to make sure that they would work here. And so Brittany was the one we worked on.
Gotcha.
One more paragraph from Keith. Keith noted the course across Oklahoma into Kansas, Missouri, adopting Bermuda, a more appropriate choice for greens. The changes occurring both champion and public courses. So other people are doing it, and there's 2 new varieties of Bermuda that are being used.
I'm just going to clarify the timing on these 2 Scottsdale projects, at least to what I understand it. Assuming the bids come in the way we expect to for the culvert repair, I'm going to guess that the culvert repair on 13 at Scottsdale will be February and March. So the entire 18 holes will be open again in April and May and the first half of June, and then the course will be shut down the end of June through July and August. Is that correct?
Construction for the repairs at Scottsdale will be completed by March 21st. So we will be open until June 5th, 10th, somewhere in there.
Sounds good.
And it's an 8-week grow-in period, isn't it, for Bermuda? You can't do it until the summer.
Warm enough.
Until it gets warm enough. It takes nights, warm nights as well as warm days.
Any other discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor of the motion as stated, signify. All those opposed? Motion carries. Lot sales. I put this on the agenda to just disclose to our board that we have had 4 or 5 lot sales this month, and apparently we have a number of people that are gifted lots as Christmas presents so that their loved one can enjoy our facilities. And I think that's a wonderful program, both for the recipient and for our organization. So, if you have a special loved one on your family that you feel could benefit from a membership here at Bella Vista, I would encourage you to look at that as an option.
And then go to pro shops and buy clothes.
That's right.
While we're on that topic of lot sales, at least a related point that I was very encouraged to note in reviewing the board packet for this month, our residential building permits in the POA are up to 61 through 11 months, and I didn't go back and look, but that's got to be the best in 5, maybe 6 years. And what was really encouraging is that in the month of November alone, we had 10 building permits. And I think you can all do the math, but if November is typical of a whole year, that would be 120 building permits. So very good progress, a nice trend on that important aspect of our growing community.
Would be a great annualized number, wouldn't it? Yeah. Cost share proposal from Mayor Christie. This isn't an item we're going to vote on this evening. I did want to make our public aware of it, and all of you have gotten the literature. It is in regards to the hiring of a specialist that can help both organizations identify business attraction and use of our current facilities target locations for future facilities that can assist in the growth of our village. So you have the information. Please continue to study it, and we will get together in our next session and discuss it. There's a new format for our fee structure. I've got a template here. Our communications department's put it together. It's a booklet form now instead of a fold form. It is, I believe, much easier to read. It will fit in the little slots that it needs to fit in so that members can access it as they did before. It's much more organized by amenity, and it has some great question and answer sections. The nice thing about this, and it's online now, is that you can, if you want just fees on lakes, you can push lakes. Well, I guess you don't push it, you click. You click on lakes, and the lake fees will pop up. If you want golf, you click on golf, and they pop up. You don't have to go through a maze of different things to see that. I know it's been a little bit of a timing issue, but it seems our whole internet experience this year has been a little bit of a timing issue. I'm happy to say I think we're getting all the bugs worked out. And Ashley, thank you to you and your department. Well done. Update on the Kingswood project. Things are moving ahead on time. We would anticipate, according to Keith's notes, that the project is, well, I've got the wrong page here. Oh, here we are. That the project will be completed by May 4th. Right now we are in the stage of putting together advertising for bids. Hope to have bids sometime by the 15th of January, starting the 15th of January, and award the contract the 21st of January. And I think it's important the board is made aware, and I was not aware of this situation. In a lot of the things that we put out for bid, it's hard for us to attract contractors in this area if we put specific timelines on them as part of the contract. We try to do that, and we don't get anybody very interested. So when we do put these, some of these timelines together, fortunately, when it comes to projects that are ground projects, we've had very good success. Some of our other projects, when it comes to buildings, that sort of thing, we don't have as much success with. I think it's important for our public to know that as well. I'd ask Dave if you would give us a report on our new Director of Lake Ecology.
We have, after reviewing several candidates, selected a gentleman named Richard Eccles. He goes by Rick. You want to call him Rick? He comes to us from Texas. He is was a colleague and actually worked for Darrell Bowman. He's got credentials as long as your arm, very well respected in his field. His specialty is fisheries management, and he's got just a little bit of experience on water quality lab work as well. And he's done quite a bit of work in Kentucky and Virginia, working with large groups to solve problems associated with how a particular body of water is used, mainly small impoundments. So he's had to deal with the public in negotiating how the recreational use of a pond would be made. He's got 3 girls. The oldest, I believe, is a senior in high school. Is that correct, Bob? Yeah. And the other two are younger than that. They will be moving here in January. I believe his first day is January the 4th. There were a number of people from the Lakes Committee that participated in the interview of the candidates. There were two fly tyers, if you count me, who also participated in the interviews, and I think we made a wise decision.
I think the committee did an outstanding job, and I think the management team that was asked to interview the candidate did as well. And that's an important part of what goes on here in Bella Vista. I hope the members realize that the board does not make these decisions without asking input. And when we ask for input, we try to identify people in our community that have an interest in the particular candidacy that we're discussing and have some knowledge to ask the kind of questions that we need to in order to determine which candidate can best serve our members. And I'll tell you, we have some talent in that Fly Tires group. We have some talent in our subcommittees, our JAG committees, and it's really nice to be able to count on them to help us through that. So, great job on that. Okay, next item, we need to vote on a resolution authorizing the chairman of the board and corporate secretary to execute warranty deeds, promissory notes, and mortgages. All of you were sent that resolution. I will go ahead and read that at this time. Resolution of the Board of Directors of Bella Vista Village Property Owners Association. Be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Bella Vista Property Owners Association that the chairman of the board and acting president, Robert Brooks, and the secretary, Genevieve Henderson, are hereby empowered and authorized to execute warranty deeds, promissory notes, and mortgages, and any and all other instruments regarding the purchase and sale of real estate by the Bella Vista Village Property Owners Association, and any and all legal instruments executed by the acting president and secretary of the association are binding upon the association. All prior resolutions of the Bella Vista Village Property Owners Association Board of Directors authorizing execution of such instruments are hereby rescinded. This resolution shall be in full force and effect and binding upon the association beginning December 17th, 2015, until it shall have been repealed and until written notice of such repeal shall have been filed for record in Benton County, Arkansas.
One little comment on that. After I got that, I went back and read the declarations and our articles of incorporation, and actually any of the officers of the corporation, the president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer, are authorized to do that. We don't have a president at the moment. I don't think we've ever had a vice president. That's an optional thing. We don't have to appoint one.
So do I have a motion?
So I would like to move that we adopt the resolution offering the resolution of the Board of Directors, POA 22015-03, that the President, Acting President Bob Brooks and the Corporate Secretary be entitled to be empowered to write promissory notes, deeds, and mortgages.
Have a second? Second. Discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Next item for business is that we need to approve the appointment. We need to appoint a treasurer. This is a position that is appointed every 3 years, and we have need to do that before the end of the year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
There's been a motion made to appoint Dwayne Mitchell as board chair, treasurer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor of the motion? All those opposed? Motion carries. All right. Changes to policy. First policy is Policy 3.06, City Employees Clause Addition. First reading.
Okay, the Rules and Regulations Committee is proposing that we add a paragraph to Section 2 of Policy 3.06, Membership Cards. And that paragraph reads as follows. Municipal employees of the City of Bella Vista who are not POA property owners will be permitted to purchase a POA photo ID card subject to the following conditions. Number one, they will have access to all POA amenities at the same photo ID rates as all other members. Number two, they will not be able to vote in normal POA elections. 3, they will be able to obtain guest passes for friends and family members who will pay normal guest fee rates. 4, they must renew the cards every year per our standard practice for members.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve that new policy change.
Second.
Second. Discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed?
First reading, by the way.
First reading. First reading carries. Second item is Policy 7.05, Defining Fees, first reading.
The Rules and Regulations Committee proposes to make a small change to Policy 7.05, clarifying that water service rates will be covered by, water services and costs will be covered by water service rates and assessments in accordance with Article 6, Section 1 of the Declarations and Covenants. Strike the word fees from that sentence.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion? All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That is the first reading of that change. Since there is no other business before this board, I would like to wish everyone a happy holiday season, and we will hope for a prosperous new year. Our next board monthly meeting will be held on Thursday, January 7th, Country Club Boardroom at 2:30. This will be a closed discussion meeting. Next work session will be held Thursday, January 14th, 8 a.m. here in the Country Club Boardroom. That's an open session. And the next Board of Directors regular meeting will be held Thursday, January 21st, 6:30 in the Country Club Board Meeting Room. Get home safely. Have a wonderful holiday season. Adjourned.
This has been the monthly meeting of the POA Board of Directors from the Bella Vista Country Club. This has been a production of Bella Vista Community Television.